Hey, everybody. Welcome back to yet another stream this Thursday evening. We are back and we are playing Assassin's Creed 2, picking back up right where we left off, diving in. To the conspiracy to kill the Doge. And obviously I'm just booting up the thing and the stream is getting started because I'm got logged out of Twitch. So I'm logging back in because, you know, good to be available on the chat. Okay. So here it is. We're back. We're live. We are checking out what is going on. And I'm going to go ahead and go over here to just grab this guy and send a quick note out to everybody in the space that we're streaming. Nope, there we go. And curious as to why my keyboard isn't lighting up at all, but that's fine. Okay. Cool. All right. So, welcome back to our weekly stream. We are here diving back into Assassin's Creed 2. We spent a lot of time last session, which was our shorter session for us, digging into the truth and enjoying that a little bit. We're getting pretty close to the end there, actually, but I'm going to hold off on that for this time around, and we're going to go ahead and dive right in to what's going on in the plot. Last time we met, we listened in on a conspiracy to murder the current Doge, the current Doge of God, that I hate that is ruined now. The current Doge of Venice, and then went and scouted out the Castillo with our friends. And now we're gonna go and see what we can do about it, because it seems to be impenetrable. High walls, hard to reach, but luckily we know a madman with a flying machine, Leonardo da Vinci. So we're gonna dive straight in and start there and just see where the plot takes us. I'm sure everything is gonna go well. Nothing bad is gonna happen at all. Because historically, that's how these games work, right? We decide to do a thing and things work out great. Not really. One thing that I do actually love that I don't think I've brought up in the past about the design here, and I will bring this back up because I have a feeling we'll still be playing Ezio by the time we get to the holiday season. A thing that is really, really kind of fun about the sort of subtler design, sort of the market tables and the haystacks specifically in this game, is that they remind me a lot of there's a culture of holiday statuary, sort of Italian, especially specifically Italian holiday statuary, like little things that become nativity scenes and that sort of structure. And it's, I mean, they're a lot of fun. They're very cool, but you know, this is the first time I'm watching this that I'm really like, oh, that's what this looks like.
Does it work?
What? What are you asking?
Does it work, Leonardo? Can it really fly?
I don't know. It's only a prototype, an idea. It's not ready yet.
Have you tried it?
No, it's too dangerous. To test it, you'd have to leap off a tower. Who would be mad enough to do a thing like that?
Leonardo, I think you just found your madman.
So, now we get to test Leonardo da Vinci's famous flying machine.
So, how does she work?
Have you ever watched a bird in flight? It's not about being lighter than air. It's about grace and balance. You must use your body's own weight to control your elevation and direction. Good luck, Ezio.
So this is a fun little mechanic that they toss in where we're gonna, you know, do the flying machine glide thing. Now, if you've never played this before, it is interesting because they do a really good job of like establishing the dynamics of the thing as a glider. You can't just go up. It will just immediately bring you back down. You lose all your lift.
I end up killing myself before I ever kill another Templar.
And then you're sort of pushed into a position of needing to just sort of glide through before you crash.
I can't believe it. It worked. It really worked. You
Truly a mad inventor.
You flew.
See, but not very far.
Well, what were you expecting? The machine wasn't designed for distance. All right, look. Let me go over my plans here. Maybe I can find some way to extend the duration of the flight.
Ezio, my men tell me Carlo has the poison. We must hurry.
Antonio, this is Leonardo, the master inventor who built these pezzo di merda.
Hey, it's not the machine's fault. It's mine. I've checked and rechecked my blueprints. It's just impossible. I don't know how to extend the flight. Ah, che idea del cazzo! Eureka! Of course! Genio!
What is it doing now?
Heat rises. It needs fire. Heated air under its wings will lift the machine.
Leonardo, what good is one fire going to do?
Not one fire, Ezio. A dozen, built all across the city. Enough to carry you from here all the way to the Palazzo Ducale.
How? Ah, capisco. My men could do that, but you are forgetting about the guards.
Don't worry, I will take care of them.
I'll give the order to have my men move in behind you, and hold the locations. They'll light them all up the second the sun goes down over San Marco.
So this is another moment. We've talked about this in the past, but this is another moment where the writing is a little bit too, it's a little hurried. Sometimes the pacing in the game is really solid and, we're in good shape on the narrative kind of carries. Everybody feels sort of justified and carried forward. That particular scene of Leonardo getting the Eureka idea around fire, first of all, is a little bit it feels forced, and second of all, it feels, to me at least, a little unrealistic that Leonardo da Vinci in this instance wouldn't have thermodynamic lift in mind, not in those terms per se. And maybe this is me just applying too much of a modern scientific lens to what we're dealing with in this kind of miraculous first flight in Renaissance Venice, but it just feels a little forced. Also, I know this is going to take me forever to get to the other side of the city, because your first targets are right there, and then after that, it feels like a hike.
Regarding the Doge,
What the hell are we guarding anyway?
A shipment from China. Really expensive. You ask me. The way these nobles spend their money.
Cool. Also, it's very fun to be running around on these boats, especially knowing that a version of them is going to be showing up a lot in the next in the next few games. We're a ways away from sailing becoming like central and pivotal to the Assassin's Creed franchise, but once it does, it really is here to stay. And the first instance is not that far out. We're, we're a ways away from Assassin's Creed 3, but we get to boats pretty fast in the franchise, which is fun. And I mean, I think a lot of people sort of got reintroduced to the game in Black Flag, and, we're excited to get there eventually. For now, let's see if we can do something about our wanted level so that running around the city is going to be a little bit easier while we clean up the guards ahead of the fireworks. And that was, having just put some pressure on it, I will say the little diegetic about the fireworks being present will play in before too long. So we'll be excited to get there when we get there. And I'm doing the thing that I do where I cannot ignore a shiny chest when it's in the run path. You know how it is. I don't know what's entirely going on with my brain around that. So where are you? There we go. Nice. Okay. This one's a bit of a pain because they're on multiple levels. I'm trying to see if I can... There we go. Oh. Okay. Frustratingly, it already thinks I'm in combat, which is annoying. No, that solves that. Okay. Let's get this guy before he knocks us off. And now we're in combat with a bunch of people. Things are going messier than I had hoped. So let's try and get this solved and get the hell out of here. Because this ain't going great. No. Nope. There we go. Okay. And now we can move on because he's dead. Well, I guess, deal with these guys really quick. It is very useful to be able to throw people off of the roof when you need to. And there we go. Okay. While I'm here, ooh, look at that. Let's see, where is he? Let's see. I can get the target. Come on. Nice. Okay. And thankfully we're not anywhere near any guards. Okay, so now we're back under control with our wanted level. Excellent. So last set of targets, and then we can spark it up and get to flying. Let's see. See if I can get a ledge assassination in without alerting the other guards. Absolutely, that's great. Let's go ahead and get this chest while we're here. And go for one more. Come on. Big money, no whammies. Wow, come on. Why did that trigger that I was in the water? They couldn't see me. What the fuck is this? truly. Okay. And we're back to being unanimous. Awesome. Okay. So that's that. Which also puts us in this one of my favorite chests where it literally is just sort of like out in the open. Yoink. And here we go. All right. Targets down. Let's go get a fly-in, shall we? As we run our way through Venice. And again, I mean, like, look at this city. It's just so pretty. I will say one of the things that does occasionally get a little bit disconcerting if you're paying too close attention is you start to notice that the criers are all voicing the same thing. So every once in a while you will have a crier that is in one side, like when I'm playing with headphones, you'll have a crier that's in one side of your ear, and then all of a sudden as you get into a different part of the city, they're in like a totally different part of the soundscape, which is, you know, one of those things where I think that's also just not, especially when this game was released, that is a thing that was never going to be a concern. Like the idea that you would be playing this game with studio quality headphones and not like on a console that's connected, like this was a console game. They weren't designing for that inevitability, which is just now, especially in like cross-platform gaming, a thing that is built entirely into how you would think about doing sound design on something like this, where you would just want to be careful about not having that bark overlap and go across into another space. You would want the bark to end and then change, but especially in the dense population building that they did here, which is impressive in and of itself. Like it's unavoidable. You can't experience this and not be at least a little bit impressed with how dense it is. It was just like, it just wasn't something that you felt like you needed to be concerned about, which makes sense, which makes a certain kind of sense. Okay, let's got all the paintings, got the treasure maps. Although we are very, very close to opening up a whole new space as we keep on trucking. Let's see. I have a feeling that by the time we get to the end of this game, I will have a solid grasp of the map again. Although, it's weird to think how well I once knew how the city was laid out in the game. And I think it was, thinking back, that's because I've played this game, at least a handful of times to 100%. And so the repetition is key at that point.
You did it. It's beautiful.
See. Now let's hope your idea works, because we're nearly out of time.
Listen close, Ezio. You're going to want to fly from fire to fire. The heat of each one you pass over should lift you back up in the air again.
Bene.
Careful, though. There's archers out on the roofs tonight. Avoid those arrows, or it will be a short trip.
I wish there was some way I could use my sword while flying these things.
Well, you do have your feet free. If you get close enough without taking an arrow in the head, maybe you could kick them off the building.
Nice.
It's now or never, amico mio. Ma cos'è? Shoot! Shoot the flying demon!
It is funny to think about how this would be absolutely terrifying to anyone actually living at the time. because it's, oops, I did not think that was going to go that way. My bad. I was kind of startled by winning rewards points. I have no idea what that is about. God. Yay. New weird currency.
Shoot! Get the flying demon!
Okay, and I have to get it right, because if I have to hear that one more time, I am going to start going a little bit insane. It is interesting to think about the fact that at the time, anyone who saw this would be absolutely thrown. It's like horrifying. The idea that someone could potentially be flying across the city. This was just outside of, it's humans aren't supposed to be able to fly. That's just not a thing that's supposed to be on the table. And so it's kind of fun to think about that as part of like a realistic amount of fear that we're seeing from the guards tonight. Uh-oh. Come on. There we go. Okie dokie. Trying hard to keep aloft. There we go. Okay. Yep. So close. Okay, we are going to make it, because all we gotta do is get over the walls. Slow glide, slow glide. Here we are, and we are in. Hell yeah. This is always fun. Love that little crash sequence. Very dead man thrown off the top of that building.
What was that?
Don't worry. Probably just kids with firecrackers. Come, it's your move.
So this is the other thing is like the firecrackers comment there is a little bit odd, because we've just come out of a moment where we heard some of the other guards. Shit, I'm gonna get desynced, because if I get detected here, yeah. It's a little bit weird hearing that, because we just came out of a section where some of the other guards were talking about a shipment from China with exploding powders. So the idea that firecrackers would exist and people wouldn't really know about fireworks is a little bit hard to square. But it's the type of writing thing that is sort of a... you can't, don't look at it too hard, right? You sort of squint and make it work.
Stop! Signore, don't drink that!
You are too late. The Doge is dead.
Fuck.
Carlo?
Apologies, Signore. But you should have listened to me when you had the chance. Seems you have failed, assassin.
Forgive me, Signore. Right.
Why? What was it all for?
That's a great line. It is weird that he suddenly...
The Doge is dead!
That he suddenly starts spitting up blood, but then, it doesn't help Ezio's case that he jumps out the window and immediately kills one of the Doge's key advisors.
One assassin to kill another, it seems.
We kill thinking it's best for us. Do we not, Messer Ezio?
I do this not for myself. Compio questo sacrificio per il bene superiore. Requiescat in pace.
So it's interesting. The line, I make the sacrifice for the greater good. Oh.
You killed me? You killed me?
Lovely bit of voice acting there. And then we get a dead Duke, which then means we are super duper fucked. We're in bad shape, but the thing to do is literally just to run and swim. When in doubt in Venice, if you are running away, just run, get in the water and swim as far as you can. It's harder to pull this off with speedboats being extant, but in this particular time period, just getting in the water is sufficient to get pretty much out of the way, and then you just sort of swim until you're anonymous. So the bit about not doing this for himself is something that Ezio is going to be tracking, is worth noting, because it's something that Ezio is going to be tracking basically through the end of this game and across the next two, as he really tries to come to terms with, like, what does it mean to be an assassin relative to his family's death, relative to their, you know, achieving certain types of vengeance, and finding a purpose inside of the assassins. That the question of, like, what is it for? Why does he do these things? Is going to be fundamental to him, and also ends up framing Desmond's relationship with the assassins, his family, which we'll get into as well. I don't think that is something that the games themselves start to scrutinize as much until a little bit later. You know, I think the development is, there's not as much of a meta impact on, like, why do we do this? You know, what is the purpose of this violence? But we do see it in two of the three threads that we're pulling.
Ezio! Dio mio! You're alive! Is it true? They say you killed the Doge.
I was trying to save him, Leonardo. But the truth matters little. I failed. And now I'm the most wanted man in Venezia.
Well, perhaps you are in luck. It's Carnevale in Venezia. This is the time when everybody goes without a face.
That's why I'm here. Do you have a mask I can wear?
Of course. Somewhere in here.
We will continue to think about Da Vinci being cluttered and sort of distracted.
Codex. Aha. This one's quite complex. It's a new design, my friend. A mechanism for your wrist, but not a blade. In fact, it seems to be a kind of arma da fuoco, but as small as a hummingbird.
Is that possible?
I have no idea. Let's build it and find out.
So now our murder Batman gets a gun. We've known this from the beginning. It's in the trailer for the game. We see Ezio specifically at Carnival using this gun, but it is a kind of a fun, wild thing that, like, this size of pistol is just in this game from one of the codex pages. It's kind of wild. It's also so cool. This thing is awesome. But I can't remember how to abort out of a shot once you've teed it up. So I'm just going to waste that ammo, which is a pain. They do, like, they add the dog barking in the background, which is, and along with the echo, which I think is just a way to demonstrate, like, in game, it is, like, it's loud. It's very, very loud. And will draw attention pretty quickly, which is good. I mean, like, I think it's, you know, it's important that you don't have a gun with a silencer. That's absolutely insane. And bullets are very, very, very expensive. So, relative to other ammo.
You've done me good, brother.
Ma certo. But I'm sure your return was not just to play with new toys. Is it about this terrible new Doge they've installed? Marco Barbarigo? Then you'll want to speak with your friend Antonio. I've seen him quite a bit lately at mutual friends. I'd look for him there, in the Dorsoduro district, to the south. Ask for Sister Theodora.
Sister?
Well, in a way, yes, sister. And Ezio, you can't be carrying weapons out there today.
Grazie, Leonardo. Now, how about that mask?
Ah, yes. So fun little scene, but now I'm going to make you watch the video on Marco Barbario because it's important. They are, this video is really, really well done. It's one of the best of these sort of target videos in the entire game. So we're just gonna watch the whole thing.
Marco Barbarigo, Although his brother Agostino was destined for greatness, Marco left his mark on Venetian history as well. A tyrant since he was barely old enough to walk, whatever Marco wanted, he got. There are records here for jewels, entire fleets of ships, all paid for by his family and all ordered directly from him. And then there's his personal life. Apparently, Marco's wife, Carlotta, used to be married to his bodyguard, Dante Moro. Dante was captain of the city guard, and heir to one of the most prestigious families in Venezia. Marco was supposedly his close friend, right? But get this, Marco decides he wants Carlotta. In the Catholic religion, marriage is till death do us part, and Marco's a good Catholic. So, he hires a hit on Dante. Dante gets stabbed 3 times in the body, and once in the head. But he doesn't die. He recovers with severe brain damage. Dante becomes like a child. So, what does Marco do? Well, he hires Dante as his personal bodyguard, and he gets him to sign a confession annulling the marriage. Marco takes Carlotta, and keeps Dante as his personal slave. What a lovely fella.
So, it's one of the most cartoonishly evil of these that we get. We're gonna, like, we're into the truly cartoonishly evil phase of the Templar. Like, we're in the space of these guys are cartoonishly evil, but we are also in the space of not we're in cartoonishly evil, but we're also in the space of like kind of end game cleaning things up. So it's like we're getting an interesting perspective there. There's clearly some stuff there that I think is like, I don't think that I would hope that a modern game wouldn't refer to him as a slave, like as a personal slave. That feels a little bit loaded, especially relative to some of the other games and things that we're going to see in the game space, like especially once we get into Black Flag and Freedom Cry and Liberty. But other than that, it is very much in the like, yeah, it's this guy is so evil. He's like just this incomparable badness in a way that ends up being kind of laughable, but also like really brutal and intense. But it also then has a like pretty problematic relationship with mental health, and like the idea of the fact that he suffers from brain damage and then they refer to him being like a child is not unfair, but is, I think, not quite the nuanced approach that a lot of contemporary games would take. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. It's also incredibly well produced and well written in a way that is kind of nice, relative to a lot of the other stuff that we have interacted with up to this point. And I think it's, you know, again, it's a nice layer of introducing in sort of Sean as that historical narrator once more. There's some we could talk about in terms of like the contemporary historical context of when this game is being made. I think it's telling that we get that as a demonstration, just as we are about to step into another scene of women being used as the object of peril, to sort of drive home how people are bad. But first, we're at another brothel.
Ezio! Ezio Auditore! Theodora, meet the most talented man in all of Venezia.
Madonna. Ah, Sister Theodora. I never imagined you as a religious type.
That's you back to be horny.
Depends how you understand religion, my son. It's not just men's souls that call for soothing.
Come, join us, Ezio. Have a drink. Meet the ladies.
Murderer! Butcher! He sliced Lucia and stole
So,
her money!
Messer Ezio, let's see just how talented you are. After him!
So again, women being placed as objects of desire or objects to save, being in peril, you know, it's kind of telling that the you know, we're talking about men's souls and sort of the idea of, you know, presenting Theodora as sort of a religious figure in that way. But again, the focus remains on men, which makes sense given the timeline, given the perspective, but it's, you know, it still has problems. Much like much like the game at the moment, where we're still getting that fun, weird rainbow effect. But what are you gonna do? I am gonna take a quick detour while I'm returning this quest line to go pick up this codex page, just because at some point before too long we are gonna take a quick trip to the villa and update our weapons and armor, given the fact that we hit a chapter break. But that'll be in a little bit of time, sort of once we get through this initial introduction into Carnival and the quest line. And then we'll, for the sake of keeping ourselves sane, I'm going to run around a little bit and clear up, get those viewpoints now that we're in a new part of the city, and just unfog the map a little bit more. So, because we are going to be doing a little bit of running around in a way that actually being able to see it a little bit more on map is going to make things a little bit easier. Now, in terms of so I'm going to pick up this codex page. We're getting pretty close to the end of codex unlocks, but we're not going to do anything in particular with that at the moment. We're going to let those be. And then in terms of the truth, we're going to leave things where they are for now. But next week we're going to dive into finishing up the truth as we move things forward, and then depending on where we get tonight, we'll either really push forward with Venice, or we'll take a detour into some of the side quests and missions, because one of the things we haven't gotten into is one of the more interesting side quests around Ezio's backstory, which starts to unlock as we carry things forward. Let's see, where are we relative to things? Because yeah, we are. I hadn't really taken into account the fact that we are getting pretty close to the end of the main plot of this game. We are not far off. We are not far off from it. So we are, and so we have with that we have some like bonus content, places that we can get into, like Templar spaces to raid and that sort of thing. Those things we are gonna do. I'm not gonna go through. We're not going to, just sort of as a point of reference of what we're aiming for. We're not going to go through and get all the chests. We are going to try to get all of the feathers. I think that's going to be like, I'm going to try and get as many people on stream who get as many folks engaged in chat as possible as we're doing that, just so that we can sort of keep a robust conversation in there about where things are going into the end game, because there are some important little plot things that I think help the transition into Brotherhood, that I don't want us to lose. But otherwise we're gonna we're getting pretty close. I think we are one, maybe we are 2, maybe 3 sessions away from the end of this one and diving into Brotherhood, which I think is going to be fun, as I seem to find myself incapable of walking across that line. And then once we get into Brotherhood, I mean, like, what's wild is once we get into Brotherhood, things start to, I feel like things start to pick up speed. Brotherhood is where things, I think that, people talk about Assassin's Creed 2 as like their favorite game in the early days of the Assassin's Creed series, which I get and it makes sense. Brotherhood, I think, is where the game takes takes what it develops in 2 and really starts to sprint with it in terms of level design and storytelling, sort of building out what the assassins are. Because like, what's interesting in this game is Ezio's the only assassin we've met, right? At least that we know of. Ezio's the only one who we know for sure, like, his father was an assassin. Mario is an assassin, was an assassin, like is an assassin because he said that he is, but we haven't really seen him engage in the work of the Hidden Blade or anything like that. And none of our other contacts have really been presented to us in direct relationship with the assassins. And so what the nature of and volume of the Order starts to come into sharper focus as we get into Brotherhood. And in part, I think it's an interesting thing that has to do with the nature of like the story and the pace of the story. They're like the story in a lot of ways, Assassin's Creed 2 is a pretty fast game, but in others it's, it takes its time. So like, which is where you run to some of the interesting pacing challenges of the game, where, I think some of the writing feels clunky more because it's going too fast than anything else. And it rushes when it could slow down. Part of that is that you don't have we're not in a place where you have like a time passage mechanic. We're not like being forced to go do a certain number of missions before someone that we are a contact that we're working with, like Da Vinci, is like done with a thing, which is something that, you can see in other games like, I'm drawing a blank, but there on the example that I was going to bring to bear there, but there are bits and pieces around just sort of the pacing and structure of the game that aren't that are a little bit clunky. And I think that once you get into Brotherhood, that is a little bit better. It integrates a relationship with base building. A part of that is we get into we're going to be getting into like the mini games that were and sort of what those mini games were attached to. This is, we were in the era of like the Facebook and Flash game integration that Ubisoft was doing, like the early days of like what the Ubisoft Club, where you could win points that would give you sometimes missions, sometimes outfits, sometimes weapons. That has now sort of become the in-game purchasing model that Ubisoft leverages for each of the Assassin's Creed games. It's really we're in a really fascinating space. We are about to head into a really fascinating space once we move from 2 into Brotherhood. So that's what's on the docket for us there. And it's also like, it's, we're also at a point where I think Assassin's Creed 2, the developers really did. It seems like the developers really took to heart a need to bring the player along for the meta plot so that it made sense. Because once we get to the end of it, once we start to see it, which we're getting there, once they do that and then start to run with it in Brotherhood and then in subsequent games, it really does kind of crack everything open. And I think, just looking forward, because as we run around, that's kind of on the mind. I think one of the things that becomes a little bit controversial around Revelations, the last installment in the Ezio trilogy, is that it goes the structure of the game kind of goes back to something that's a little bit more built around closing the chapter on Ezio as an assassin and in some ways also Altair, and sets aside a lot of the other meta plot to focus on those two characters and how they themselves see their positions in history, which is something that like not a lot of games do. That's a little like it's a little out there for a game to take that approach, and a little it's a little out there, it's a little risky, but I think it produces a very fascinating character study that then also produces a kind of different and more meaningfully layered context for Ezio. And really the first, if we're thinking about the development cycle and sort of the writing of the games, the first chapter of Assassin's Creed, which I think if we're given the way it's structured, I think that's sort of 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, and then 3, which exists because it's sort of it's the third and final. It's the 5th and final installment in the sort of Desmond Miles Assassin's Creed games, but it's also where it also signals a shift in the meta structure and positioning of the games relative to the player. We see after that we're going to see a very interesting embrace of certain aspects of the meta narrative, certain aspects of the minigame development that will have an interesting knock-on effect in terms of how the game is structured, what the game is trying to say and do, in a way that's interesting. Like I think it's generally pretty good, but you know, I'm putting the cart a little bit before the horse because I think that's where a lot of the meat is coming down the road, and because, you know, part of the point of me being on stream is that I'm going to be playing and talking to you. So when I'm not engaging in the plot and running around the city and doing this other stuff, you're going to have to just listen to me have ideas about this and that and the other. Meanwhile, I am thinking that sometime soon, I think in the next couple of weeks, I am going to be working out doing a joint stream with some folks for like maybe a placeholder over the holidays or something, where it's where we watch the Assassin's Creed movie.
Okay. Haha! You found another one. How exciting!
But I am going to have to go back. Having not seen it before, I don't want to learn too much about it, but I do need to figure out what it might spoil about the games, given when because it comes out later. I don't know how much they're playing with the various meta plots. I can't imagine it's too much, but then again, it's, you know, it's Assassin's Creed. It's like who knows? It's a weird game, and by all accounts, that movie is kind of bizarre. And so we're gonna, once we get there, we'll figure something fun out to do with it, and I'll, you know, maybe some familiar names and faces will show up for folks who have been on here before and heard me talk to some of the regulars and mods that show up. I think it would be very, very fun to bring those guys on and do a little bit of we're hanging out and watching this silly game. I also have no idea what this weird chromatic aberration is doing. I think it's something to do with It's something to do with what the... Something is broken in the targeting reticule, and sort of that animation is kind of at a in a bit of a weird. It's doing something strange, sort of giving us this oil slick effect. But come see, come saw. Not much we can do about it right now, other than enjoy, because it does look pretty cool. I can't say I hate it. It is just bothering my brain a tiny bit to see it popping up. All right, so now we head back to the villa, and oh yeah, wow, what is that? Yeah, see, that's weird. Okay, well, maybe the game's broken. It hasn't affected anything other than that, so until it does, I'm just gonna leave it as is. All right, so we're gonna repair everything, and then we're gonna buy some armor. Serious upgrade coming. Let's go get some more money, because that's kind of all we had. What's kind of funny is I was doing a little bit of play ahead on the PlayStation, and it's kind of interesting to see where achievements sit, and there's a specific achievement for hitting like 80% of the villa's value, and that was part of it there. Ooh. Okay, I forgot that these codex pages had information in them. I've spent days with the artifacts now, or has it been weeks, months? I can no longer be certain. The others come from time to time, offering food or distraction. They say I should separate myself from these studies. Malik has even suggested I abandon them entirely, but I am not yet ready to turn away. This apple of Eden will be understood. It must. Is it a weapon? Is it a catalog? Is it somehow both? He who increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. The philosophy of such a statement I can understand, but for it to be true, literally true, a society that waged wars with ideas and information in place of steel and swords. Its function is simple, elementary even, dominion, control, but the process, the methods and means it employs, these are fascinating. Those subjected to its glow are promised all that they desire. It asks only one thing in return, complete and total obedience. And who can truly refuse? It is temptation incarnate. I remember my own moment of weakness when confronted by Al-Mualim, my confidence shaken by his words. He who had been like a father was now revealed to be my greatest enemy. Just the briefest flicker of doubt was all he needed to creep into my mind, but I vanquished his phantoms, restored my self-confidence, and sent him from this world. I freed myself, but now I wonder, did I really? For here I sit, desperate to understand that which I swore to destroy. This is why. The apple has a tale to tell. I sense the flickers of something great and dangerous. We are all at risk. It is my duty to do something about it. I cannot turn away until I find the truth. So, right, the Codex covers bits and pieces of Altair's story and the things that are revealed from within it. So this is early Hidden Blade designs. These are cool. Why haven't I looked at these before? Oh man. Who are the ones that came before? What brought them here? How long ago? Centuries, millennia, longer still. So little remains of them. What drove them out? What of these artifacts, messages in a bottle, tools left behind to aid and guide us, or do we fight for control over their refuse, giving divine purpose and meaning to little more than discarded toys? I think this might be the first time we've heard the ones that came before in reference to the pieces of Eden. I know, like, I don't think that's entirely true. I think Al-Mualim mentioned them, but, you know, we haven't really engaged with them in a while. This is a piece about the Templar. And the assassins, and how both of the orders continued on. So that one was about how Altair first became sort of so attached to the assassins. This is an interesting meditation on truth that rings, unfortunately, prominent in today as we are dealing with what we're dealing with here in DC. This is a fun, weird image of the apple inside of a whole bunch of sort of Zoroastrian symbology. So that's fun. Oh yeah, man, the subs were so full of Zoroaster. Anyway, so the codex, you know, if you are more interested in the codex pages, which is totally understandable, check out, I mean, don't do it yet, but I would like read through them on the Wikipedia page because they are fascinating, truly fascinating things. I'd forgotten. I haven't read through them in since a very early playthrough, and so it's worth taking a look at them when you have a chance. I'm also going to hold off on. I'm not going to. Again, at some point when we do the broader cleanup stuff, I will dig into like getting the rest of the art, and you know, there are things that we're going to go for, I think, other than chests, because the chests are simply too much. We are going to try and get pretty much everything else in this game, in part because I like playing it a lot, but also because I think there's something in that my brain, in seeing the direct sequel, really desperately wants to engage with. Like, I really, really want to be able to and yes, we will be able to buy this sort of Altair soon. Like, I really want to be able to like have everything going into the next game, which is, you know, it feels kind of silly, but you know, not too silly. Actually, fuck it. No one can tell me not to do it now. Well, except the fact that I now have no money. Yeah. But I don't want this bad mace. I want a much better weapon. So I'm going to go pick that up. And then we will return to Venice to dive in once more to doing murder. Yeah, this color thing's just throwing me. Oh, and we have, I don't think we talked about it, but we've now done, both these little fun things. So we have the flying machine model, and we also have the carriage model, from when we did the downhill run with Da Vinci on our way to Venice the first time. Those are fun little things just to point out. Yeah. That's going to bother me for forever. So this is what's weird is like having restarted the Xbox and restarted the game. I have no idea where the chromatic aberration is coming from. Could not tell you. But you know, here we are, and it seems to be not having. It doesn't seem to be having a major impact on the game itself. All right, so we go to Venice. Yeah, like there shouldn't be green in here. It should just be white. Really, no idea. Anyway. The other thing that's funny, so I don't know. Well, I don't know if folks have heard the minstrels that are running around and trying to, you know, get in Ezio's way, but they somehow know his whole deal in a way that, like, don't think about it, don't look at it, don't squint too hard. But it is so funny that these guys are just running around with loots being like, hey, we're going to blow up your whole spot. We're going to just talk about how you are doing this shit. And it's, yeah, it's fucking wild. Oh, yeah, sad.
You have our gratitude, Ezio.
Why is it wherever you go, trouble follows?
Antonio, I trust you know why I'm here.
I imagine to rid Venice of Marco Barbarigo. But really, Ezio, we did this once already. And this new Templar Doge is a bigger culo than the last. Never mind that he never leaves the palazzo.
Yes, except for tonight. Marco wouldn't dare miss Carnevale.
Fortuitous
How
timing.
do you know this?
In fact, he's throwing the biggest party of them all. But getting in won't be so simple. You'll need a golden mask for entry. And before you think about forging one, keep in mind, each mask is numbered. Fortunately for you, I have an idea. Let's see if we can't win you a mask.
Okay. We're going to go try and do some carnival
You want to
games.
ask me something?
I do. Forgive me, but why is it you wear a nun's habit if you aren't one?
Whoever said I wasn't? Indeed, I am married to the Lord.
And yet you are also a courtesan. You run a bordello.
So, I see no contradiction. How I choose to practice my faith, what I choose to do with my body, these are my choices to make. Like many young women, I was drawn to the church, but grew disillusioned by the believers of the city. Men hold God only as an idea in their heads, not in the depths of their hearts and bodies. Men must know how to love in order to reach salvation. My girls and I provide that to our congregation. No church would agree with me, I realized, so I created my own. It may not be traditional, but men's hearts grow firmer in my care.
Among other things, I'm sure.
So Ezio had to put a button on that, which is unfortunate. It's also very interesting that we have that perspective of like the liberated body and a very feminist message, but attached to the game truly dedicated to objectifying those same bodies. It's interesting.
This year, like every year, the Golden Mask will provide entry for one, e uno solo, to our most beloved Doge's personal ball. Who would not desire such an exceptional reward? Come,
Awesome.
compete! Whoever proves themselves champion in each of 4 games today shall be the Doge's personal guest tonight.
I'm realizing now I should have started the stream with the mask I picked up in Venice, which is the Leather Hawk's mask. I promise I will drop that in on social somewhere. It's very fun to knock over the carnival barkers.
Welcome Gentlemen, whether you win or lose, this will certainly be your favorite game of the day. Ladies, here's how the game is played. All the ladies in the district have ribbons. Your job is to obtain them. Whoever has the most before my hourglass runs out is one step closer to winning the golden mask.
Okay, so this one's really simple. We are literally just on a timer that's really generous, and we are going to go do some pickpocketing of ribbons. It's super duper straightforward, and it doesn't take too long.
You're all looking lovely this afternoon.
The other thing you find is that ribbons are easier to come by the further away from the central pavilion you get, but it's the fastest way to do this is literally just spiraling out and hitting as many of the blue target clusters as you can. And but yeah, we're in plenty of time. No worries here. While Etio also then says weird, creepy things. Anyway, let's see. Where were we? Don't run into that guy, because then he's gonna chase you around. Fire breather. Okay. So yeah, these carnival games are kind of fun and silly, and more or less tee you up for the next mission. Well, and it's kind of like, it's just using, basically it's saying use all of the various skills you have. Now, these are all also skills for side missions that we'll start doing next week or the week after.
You proved yourself a favorite of the ladies, and are now one step closer to the greatest prize of all time.
Okay, one down. The next one is over here. And I'm pretty sure this is the race. Pretty sure. We'll see. So the next two are the race and capture the flag. The race is weird. Capture the flag is weird. Or sorry, the race is straightforward. Capture the flag is weird.
Welcome.
Great. This is just the race. Again, pretty straightforward. It's something that we will be doing a bunch of when we get into running through the side quests.
Start when you're ready. The first contestant to beat the course record is one step closer to the golden mask.
All right. Yeah, and so one thing that we haven't had a ton of, because we haven't been doing the races, is this track, which I think is low-key one of my favorites in the game. It is kind of, it is an interesting version of the theme. Ooh, there we go. Salvage that. And it's got like the really great like strumming guitar and sort of that nice upbeat run to it. And I probably should stop talking so I don't fuck this up, because that is entirely possible. And I would love to not have to do this again. All right. Come on, go. And we're halfway there, but we're more than halfway through our targets. We're gonna be A-okay. Making great time. Oh yeah. And of course, it wouldn't be a good race in Venice if it didn't make you jump off of a roof into a canal. Very, very satisfying. And we're gonna end on a boat. This is actually I believe, the barge for the final mission in this run.
The winners! You've proven yourself the fastest and strongest in Venezia. You are now one step closer to the grand prize.
And we're getting that fun side eye from the boys. We recognize Barbarigo's brother. Actually, do we have that audio? Is he in the targets yet? No. We'll learn more about the youngest Barbarigo for too long. But for now, we're about to dive into the weirdest of these mini games, in part because it truly requires you to just throw yourself off a roof 3 times in a row.
The rules of the game are simple. Outrun your opponents, take the flag from the middle of the field, and bring it back to your starting position to score. If the opposition holds the flag, you must knock them down to steal it. Be the first to capture the flag 3 times, and the golden mask may yet be yours.
Awesome. Okay, diving in here. Okay, yep. So the way to win this is literally just to throw yourself off the top of that roof. Each time you win, your lead time gets shorter and shorter. So the first time you have, I think, like a 10-second head start, then a second time you have a 5-second head start, and then the third time you have no head start at all. And really the most effective way to win is just to jump off, because at this point you have enough armor so that it won't kill you. And so you get, each round, it's the fastest way to get down, and also the only way to make sure that you actually get out in front of your opponent every single time, and avoid, like, if you don't, it's not a problem, but then you have to catch him and tackle him to get the flag back. Just like in normal capture the flag, how you have to tackle someone to the ground to get the flag, which is wrapped itself around their body in a weird glowy pattern. But yeah, who gives a shit about verisimilitude? We're literally just in make it work. And I think it's a fun game. Like, I think the concept of the mini game is entertaining, but it does end up leading to that. That's, God, and you can't just kill him. So now you have to chase him down and hope like hell that he gets distracted. Otherwise, he's gonna get. Yeah, this is the other problem. Like, once he gets out in front and gets back to his base, you're basically just done. And like, there's no way to, yeah. But oh Jesus, literally facing the wrong way. Okay. Go, Ezio, go. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. We got it. We are gonna get it, and then we're gonna be able to move on to the next thing. As I run into the thieves and almost fall over, but hey, all is good. We're making great time. Solid. We did it. Oi.
We have a winner! You've protected your flag and captured the enemies. You've proven yourself a warrior without fear, an inch ever closer to victory.
Shout outs to Ezio. And now for the last carnival game. Can you guess what it is?
Step right down.
Don't worry, you don't have to.
Benjamin
It's boxing.
Lottatori. The game is simple.
Normal.
There's only one rule.
Fun.
No weapons.
Boxing.
Fight until you are the last man left standing. Will it be you or two? Who will win
This is also a fun moment where what seemed kind of silly at the time and now makes perfect sense. The AI is only able is not consistently translating the thing it just translated. It's absolutely just fucking up for the lulz. Now, one of the most frustrating things about this particular fight is that you have to retarget everybody. Like once each round ends, you have to target again, and otherwise it gets all funky and weird. But we have picked up the metal gauntlet that we have to remember to take off when we start doing beat-ups in the minigames, because otherwise you will kill your opponent, and that's a no-go.
Looks like this one thinks himself some kind of campeon. Go on, Dante. Show him how sadly mistaken he is.
But the metal gauntlet is really awesome because it just kind of gets through people's defenses. You just kind of roll these 5-punch combos, and there we go.
There's nobody else to challenge our man in the ring.
Yeah, they're totally just gonna let me win now. Like, I've won, so obviously they're gonna just accept the results and let me win, right? That's what people do.
We have combatants.
No.
So that's how it's going to be, eh?
No, instead, we're gonna play the game of disarm and kill. So at this point, it's literally just like, yeah, you just gotta kill everybody because they... And the nice thing is that with these guys, the fastest way to kill them is to attack and counter. And now we're done. But now we really won, right? We really won, and they're just gonna respect that we won. Even when they cheated, we won. So they're just gonna let us, you know, take the mask and be done with it,
Our winner
right?
has proven himself the fleetest of foot, the strongest of champions, the wisest strategist, and clearly a favorite of the ladies. With 4 games won lealmente, the winner of the Golden Mask is... The winner of the Golden Mask is Dante Moro.
Oh, Dante Moro. Truly tragic.
Congratulations. We'll see you this evening.
Yeah, so the way the game treats Dante is not great. It's like, it's really tragic, and I think like it works to the extent that it works because it is incredibly tragic, but it's also like it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to watch or play. It's just, you know, it's ableist and weird in a way that we just don't engage with anymore as often. Like, it still happens, but
We could not have known Silvio would cheat as he did.
it doesn't age.
You should have.
Sister,
Antonio's
you
right.
told us that you saw that rotten culo who stole the golden mask. He's on his way to the Doge's party.
I will go. I can catch him before he arrives and take back the mask.
How? By killing the poor Stronzo?
Yes. You know what's at stake.
No. If you kill him, they'll cancel the party. And Marco will retreat back into his palazzo. We'll have wasted our time again. Steal the mask instead. Quietly.
My girls can help. They're already on their way to the party, all along the route. They can help you distract him while you acquire the mask.
Va bene. I can do that.
So Antonio's super right, and now we're in, you know, as long as we are cognizant about when we are hiring our allies to help us achieve this, it goes pretty smoothly. So, because if memory serves, we're taking this at a trot, and then he should be... Well, right around here. It's around here somewhere. We're looking for a golden glowy someone. Huh. And now, yep, and that's all that was required there. We managed to wait, what the fuck? Okay. We're gonna go ahead and try that again. That was weird. But yeah, it's fine. This is so one of the things you have to be careful about when dealing. This is like the weird, aggressive horniness of the guards here. You have to be careful about when you're using courtesans as cover. I did not run fast enough, so that's what I've got to see up here.
You should have.
Sister, you told us to let you know if we saw that rotting culo who stole the golden mask. He's on his way to the Doge's party.
I will go. I can catch him before he arrives and take back the mask.
How? By killing the first Stronzo?
Yes. You know what's at stake.
No. If you kill him, they'll cancel the party. And Marco will retreat back into his palazzo. Wasted our time.
One of the most frustrating things about this game is that you have to watch each of the cutscenes when you like restart the mission. And restarting that mission just made more sense than anything else. It was just the better choice for a lot of reasons. But we'll don't worry, we will get there. It's gonna be fine. It's the first time I've really messed something up, I think, in the game so far, so we're doing great. But like, we know what we're doing. If I need to hire another group, we can. I think I'm probably gonna have to, because yep, there we go. So what we're gonna do, having ID'd our guy, is we're gonna blend and then hire and then rob him and then head off with our cover. Okay, that's how that was supposed to go. Golden mask is stolen, and now we get to head to the party. And because, you know, we're now moving out of sight of Dante, we're still gonna, we're gonna keep shedding
Discover the other pleasures of our city, traveler. Spend an hour you'll never forget.
We're gonna keep shedding allies, but we're, you know, making our way slowly but surely. Yeah, okay, this is great. So we're at this point, things are in good shape, and we're gonna have a chance to use our fun new toy for this next assassination. Fun look on this mask. Very much teeing up the, you know, it's like, man, this game's just so good. They let us in because we have the mask. It's yeah, this game is great. It tees up a lot of things. I think
Just offshore. He's set to make a speech in a few minutes. Use my guns. Move with them to stay out of sight.
I think if memory serves, we're like right ahead of V for Vendetta, and I think like there's something about the masks as they show up that's really just sort of satisfying. Okay, and the jig is a little bit up, but it's fine. We're okay. We're gonna blend. We're just gonna hang. And then we're gonna go at a little bit of trot, and we're going to hire. Okay, and now we just have to wait this out. We're gonna wait here, and thankfully, you know, 2 courtesan are able to just peel off. Anyway. Like most of the guards, and now we have the fun part of, oh no, shit, I have to blend. That's bad. This is bad. That hasn't happened before. Okay, just gotta stay here long enough to, okay, great. Okay, just gotta wait, and then we're almost there. Okay.
Signore e signori, I present to you the beloved Doge of Venezia.
Whew. That could have gone worse.
To the grandest social event of the season, at peace or at war, in times of prosperity or paucity, Venezia will always have carnival.
I'm not leaving the boat. I'll have to swim out there.
I wouldn't try it. You'll be spotted right away.
Then I'll fight my way out there.
Wait.
Tonight, we celebrate what makes us
Nope. Okay, cool.
great.
Come on.
Right, our lives.
And there we go. Whew.
No. It's too soon.
Like, that mask is so good.
We rarely are. Che la morte non sia crudele. Requiescat in pace.
Like, seriously, he looks like a Dark Souls fucking villain in this outfit with the mask. It's so fucking good. And then, yes, like any good assassination inside of Venice, you escape by diving into the water and swimming away. Just got to get outside of the circle of awareness and then swim a little bit more. All right. And now we just gonna make our way back to where our friends are. And what's helpful is as we go, we're gonna slowly get ourselves back down to anonymous. Get him. Shit. No, fuck. Yeah. No, you, my friend, I'm sorry you have to die. Yeah, because that's like a quarter or 3/4 of the wanted meter done. And then we just gotta go. Get out of here. Go. Shit. Did I run past it? It higher up for some reason? Wild. Okay, and then fun thing. Just doop. Back into the water we go. Alrighty. Follow me for more tips and tricks on how to evade the law in Renaissance Venice. Spoiler alert, a lot of it is just getting to water and diving in. It's hard for them to pick up a trail and they don't have speedboats. So, like, generally, not too bad. Okay, and now we can just make our way back without too much trouble. And, see what happens next. I bet it's not gonna be overly horny or too weird. That's where my money is. My money is that it's going to be very chaste. There's not going to be any inappropriate touching. It's going to be super duper normal. Very normal time coming up, I think. Almost certainly. Damn it. People with boxes keep running into me. Etsy has some weird problems. Like, people with boxes keep running into me. I keep getting attacked by random guards for, I mean, probably good reason. But anyway, let's see. Super chaste, very normal. No inappropriate touching.
Che spettacolo! A true hero.
You must be exhausted. Come, relax.
Ah, the savior of Venezia. What can I say? Perhaps it was wrong of me to doubt so readily. Now, we'll see where all the pieces fall.
Enough of that now. You've worked hard, my son. I feel your tired body in need of comfort and succor.
But I have such aches and pains, sister. I may need...
Yeah, no, I was 0 for 3 on that prediction. Anyway. Yeah. Truly, I mean, this is probably... This game is Assassin's Creed at its horniest. I think the second most horny. We're going to be, well... Yeah, this is Assassin's Creed at its horniest. The next time we're going to be like even close to this horny is once we get to Odyssey. And even there, it's not nearly as horny because we're in like an open world romance choice game. So yeah, weird stuff. Just wild. But look at that. Time passes. Made it to 1486, and we're back in Venice. Hopefully, a more stable Venice. Oh, can't move, which means, yep, there's the messenger.
Ezio, Ser Antonio wishes to speak with you.
Grazie for the message.
Okay, and now off to speak to Antonio we go. And yeah, so these little tables and things, at some point I will, as we get towards the holidays, I will, you know, show off some of the stuff that my family has pulled together over the years. Which definitely, I mean, it has a look. It has a particular look. But first, before we do anything else, let's go find out what our friend has to tell us. I don't want to hide in the well. The other thing is, so this game, we have a lot of like hiding spaces and places to do assassinations from, but we don't have a ton of incentive. And that's the other thing that I'm very excited about once we get to, once we get into Brotherhood, because Brotherhood introduces the percentage completion per memory. So not just how much of Ezio's, genetic sequence have you tracked in the broader arc of the memory that you're putting together, but on a memory by memory basis. So there's like doing assassinations a certain way or remaining undetected or things like that are going to start being, actually mechanically impactful in game.
There you are. Come, Ezio. I'd like to introduce you to an associate. This is Agostino Barbarico, soon to be Doge of Venezia, thanks to you.
È un onore fare la vostra conoscenza, illustrissimo. I'm sorry for the loss of your brother.
He had it coming. He was bought and paid for by the Borgia. A mistake I have no intention of making.
Come, Ezio. We have much to discuss. We've located Silvio Barbarico for you. He's fled into l'Arsenale.
Fled? You mean occupied, and joined by 200 mercenari, no less.
You're Doge now. Can't you command them to stand down?
The committee of 41 has yet to confirm my ascension. And this little stunt of Silvio's has only made things worse. He has an entire army at his command.
Then help me to raise my own.
I figured you'd say as much. Bartolomeo d'Alviano is the man you seek. He and his men have little love for Silvio. He resides within the military district, southwest of l'Arsenale.
Va bene. I'll go and see him.
Okay, so we need to raise an army. But before we do that, I think that we should probably get ourselves suitably equipped to handle this army, because this guy is not worth messing around with. That was supposed to be a good cue where it immediately started playing the video about Silvio.
Barbarigo. Raised by wealthy merchants, Silvio was introduced to politics when his father was cut out of the family inheritance. From then on, Silvio worked for his uncle, his father's killer. Apparently, he had a knack for persuasion. Quickly, he became his uncle's advisor, proving his worth by discovering a Soranzo plot against the Barbarigos. You're gonna love this. Before the plot could be carried out, Silvio throws an Easter celebration, inviting the Soranzos. There's a pageant for the children in the central courtyard, while Silvio escorts the parents to the roof. He toasts the family, then signals the archers hidden behind the courtyard windows. The Soranzos never plotted against the Barbarigos again. Fast forward 10 years, and Silvio's living in his uncle's luxurious Venetian palazzo. According to the history books, his uncle died in bed.
So again, we get a fun picture of the Barbarigo family and their whole deal. Silvio's a piece of work. There are some interesting things about Silvio that we're not going to dig into right now too much. I mean, like, one of the big things is I think that one of the things I find interesting is that Silvio's coloration is specifically darker in sort of that olive skin coloration, which is like fine and good, but definitely worth noting in just sort of, you know, we're in a space where representation inside of these games is going to be a little bit tricky for the next little bit. I mean, that's not that bad. It's just like every once in a while you do get villains that are specifically like coated a little bit darker or a little bit. There's some interesting racial coding that comes into how they portray some of the villains. Damn you, I want your money. Come back. Fine. Anyway, so yeah, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to get our last two seals for the armor of Altair. But before we do that, I'm just going to go ahead and grab the last of the standard armor upgrades, and then we're really just down to picking up Altair's sword before we're fully kitted out and ready to go, which we should be able to do. We should probably be able to do by the time we're done with these. We'll see how quickly I get through it versus how much money gets put into the coffers of the estate. These are tougher puzzles. So, I mean, these are this first one is a free running puzzle that is, I think last time I did this, it took me a handful of tries. We'll see how we do. But it's, again, this one's actually like we're getting, these are both like fun level designs. They're both interesting timed challenges. But and like just enjoyable. Like these are fun. We're not gonna, like, there's a little bit of combat in this one, but not much.
There's something moving over there in that haystack.
Sit back down. We're in the middle of playing a tarot game.
No, this time I saw something. I know it.
That's what you say every time. You were right. There was something in the haystack, you feminuccia.
I'm tired of your jokes. This isn't funny. I could have been killed.
By that,
You don't take our work seriously. One miss. One time you turn your back in the wrong direction.
So we have our fun little clear comparison of the big guard who's actually a bit of a coward, and his small, quick compatriot who is a little bit more bold and daring. And now we have to run through here and try and get our guy, which is I'm probably not gonna get this because it's tough. He's stupidly fast, and is really like he's as with many of these challenges, he's very fast and hard to catch up to enough to get an assassination, and every once in a while you get close, but the gate falls, and that's a pain. So we'll see. I don't like, it's been a long time since I've managed to catch him. The easiest way to do it is you gotta get height, but getting height on him is a challenge. So, you know, we do our best. Like, that's one of the best spots to get him. But, yeah. And then, nope. I'm not gonna get him. Yeah, nope. Oh well. We'll just do this the old-fashioned way.
we work together.
Okay. And now we're gonna do our favorite. Disarm the big man and kill him with his own axe. Take that, you big jerk. And let's see if I can get a fun counter with the big axe. Oh, so stupidly satisfying. But here we are. Okay. And then I can't remember if there's a chest area around here. I don't think there is. So onward through the door into the inner sanctum. So this is a fun timed puzzle, and by fun I mean incredibly excruciatingly challenging. It's one of those ones where you really do have to like slow down and not rush, but the timing is pretty tight. Thankfully, it doesn't reset everything on your, like, if you get, there are 4 locks that we're unlocking. For each one that you get, it stays unlocked, which allows you to speed up your run a little bit, but still, they are not. This is one of the tougher puzzles in the game for me. But let's see how we do. We're gonna. Okay, one down. Part of the reason things speed up is because it doesn't, the clock doesn't stop when you, when it cuts to those little cinematics. So like that, the clock is still going as I am, yep. So then we go here, dip-doo. Let's see, boop, boop, boop. Boop. Now this is a trap, because if you do the wall run, you're actually losing your angle on the transitional jump here. So that's kind of the ideal. Now this is where things start to get really tricky. This is tricky wall run into. Yep. Let's see if we can get it. Nope. I have a feeling we're gonna miss it, but we're gonna try again. Like Mom always said we should. I have a feeling. Ugh. Nope. Okay. So, didn't quite get it. That's okay. Yeah. So we got all but the last one. The last one sucks. Especially because now we have to get back over and run all the way back around. But, you know, like I said, it's going to be faster next time. Why am I missing that? That's really frustrating. What am I doing wrong there? Doing something wrong. Let's try and get that sorted really quick before we try and do the run again. So that to there, to there, to there. Wait, why are you jumping down? What the fuck? Ezio Auditore. Okay, there we go. So that's, and then there's a thing that's usually there that isn't there right now, because I gotta go redo the thing. But okay, so that's how that's supposed to go. Let's see how we do. All right. Doop 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 doop. No need to hurry. Better to take our time and do it right. Yep. Nice. Don't love that, but that's okay. Okay, there we go. Over and through. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. On through. Yeah, there we go. All right. Getting there. Getting there. Alrighty. Up. Over. Don't fall. Nice job. Okay. Boop. 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 Yeah. All right. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. 2 tries ain't bad at all. And now we get to go into the tomb. Fun little locking mechanism, reveals these stairs, which I think are really cool. Fun design. Love that we get the assassin seal on this locked door. You know, definitely feel the lore of the game coming through a little bit more. It's very enjoyable. And now, because we are so freaking close, make sure to get all the chests in here, because just because I'm not trying to get all the chests doesn't mean I'm going to say no to free money. All right, doop-a-doo. And where is it? There it is. Excellent. Up and at him. Nicely done. Or at least, well, yeah, I'll say it. Nicely done. Feeling good about it. Loving how that turned out. And now we are 1 seal away from endgame armor. Yeah. Once we get into the next game, doing these is going to suck because I'm going to want to 100% them, and I'm probably going to have to get over that, or we're just going to accept that being in Brotherhood is going to be a little bit more strenuous for it. Love a sewer with a big heavy cement cover. Also, Ezio's got to be stupidly strong. Like those things are so fucking heavy. It's truly insane that he's just out here lifting it without breaking a sweat. Alrighty. And then let's go check this one out. So this one, the next one we're going to is fun because it's basically, so it's no combat, and it's basically just 4 puzzles, kind of like the one we just did. They're all on timers. They're a little tricky. They're easier than that in some important ways, but they aren't easy. Also, is Ezio out of his mask? He is. I'm kind of sad that you don't have an option to like keep wearing the mask. I know that part of the reason they do it is because they don't want you to be anonymous, but like Carnival keeps going in this part of the city, and I'm a little bit bummed that you can't just wear it even with, because I think it looks cool, and I know they want to show his face because like we're all here for the handsome Italian man, and not just me but Ezio too, and it's a bit of a bummer. It's a cool mask, honestly. It's the kind of I could see myself trying to do a reproduction of that mask at some point. I think that would be fun and a fun challenge. Especially because now the Forge is up. The Forge, this weekend we are going to be lighting the Forge for the first time, or at least that's the goal. We'll see if the weather holds. But yeah, the goal is to light the Forge and do some metalworking this weekend, which will be a lot of fun. Okay. Up and on. So yeah, this this one is our last seal. Not our last tomb. Our last tomb is some DLC that we're going to tackle before we go to our last location, heading into the end game. And it's back at the villa. It's a different thing. It's got a different reward set. But we'll give that one a shot. Maybe we'll start next session with that. It's kind of lore heavy though, so I've been kind of saving those DLC things for later on. But again, we'll build that into the sort of cleanup before the final boss, or maybe with the final boss. We'll see. So we are in a church. We have the prompt to activate the puzzles. What could that possibly mean? Puzzle number 1. So we are now trying to get to that lever. So we've got to run through this altar to get there. And we have this fun, helpful ticking noise to create stress. And then I jump straight off. Okay, I'm just going to reset this because otherwise I'm not going to get it. The timing on these is pretty tight. But yeah, hopefully I don't make too many silly mistakes and have to repeat things too many times. I think this is one of the better examples. Like these last 2 sealed puzzles, I think are great examples of how the sort of puzzle logic and design in this game has evolved, and it points to sort of where things will go moving forward in terms of being pretty like puzzle centric, puzzle forward in subsequent games. Like it's Assassin's Creed. It's interesting that I think about like Assassin's Creed is kind of this open world game, but it's also in my mind a fun like platforming puzzle game. like an acrobatic platforming puzzle game, which I think is, I don't think I'm unique in that, but it isn't, I don't think it's something that people think about. I don't know. That's probably not true. It's something that I think about immediately, like as being integral to the game and what it can be, should be. Puzzle number 2. This one's tricky because it has some like red herrings in terms of how you should approach it, that I find kind of interesting. We're going to bypass them. It's, I think, like, there is a way to do this puzzle that is much longer, where so here you climb up, and what you could do is jump around and like use other things, but you can also just run that way along those boards and then climb up over here. And then this part is a little bit tougher, so we have these crosses that we're gonna run up and across, and then we got to be mindful of where we're going next. Again, the secret to these is moving with quickness, but not rushing, because if you rush, you fall, and if you fall, you have to start over. And then there we go. Nice, clean, solid, happy. Again, I really, really like that you can see the ways in which I think you can really see the ways in which the seal is being built out. Like the assassin seal is being built out in that central space for us to engage with. Now we go over here to this one, which is more of a pain in the ass than a lot of the others. Just because some of the movement here is intentionally kind of tricky to navigate and very touchy, but it's fine. Come on. You also have to be careful because Ezio kind of locks up on you, and again, like the forced camera angle starts to get a little bit trickier. All right. And then we're going to jump over here, and then we got to jump to here. Okay, and then, yep, we're going to go over, up. Come on. Up, over. Come on. Yeah, this one's tough because it doesn't... Why? Come on. Over. Dude, what the fuck? You can get stuck. And then, yeah, you kind of have to get back into the momentum, swing to get up, and then okay, here we go. Up. Come on. Oh, damn, that was close. Definitely almost missed that, but we got it in the end. And now, I am, because I like the way it's laid out, I am going to take us over to one of the secret treasure spaces, because I think that it's well designed. I like that they put it over here. I think getting to it is like pretty fun. Like, it's just a cool little pocket that they set up. And I think it's just worth, checking out. Okie dokie. Last one. Okay. One of the trickiest parts on this one is... Oh, well, I don't need you to do that again. I just walked back over it. One of the trickiest parts on this one was knowing where to start and, like, getting the run across the pews right. I remember the first time I played this game, that was, like, a huge pain in the ass. But also, it is very interesting to me how much of this game is... how much of like these puzzles were made challenging by the sensitivity and range of motion on the Xbox 360 and PS3 controllers. Like it was really sort of heavily limited by how much range of motion you had on those guys, and like the limitations of the joysticks themselves, and sort of you were like, because those joysticks weren't full 360 rotation, they were much clunkier, and I think like you have especially in these remasters, you have a better translation around like what like you just have much finer control over where you're pointed, and that doesn't affect Ezio's jump geometry. It's just a lot easier not to overextend in, like, it was so easy to accidentally just jump off 15 degrees, like jump your angle off 15 degrees outside of where you wanted it to be and like totally whiff, which is just not the case here. All right, we've got this last seal. How exciting. God, it makes me wonder if, like, the disc is frying. I don't know, man. It's so bizarre. But here we are, back on the surface. And now that we've got all the seals, let's get back to the villa and unlock that armor. For those who might ever play this corner is the worst corner in the entire game, because the ease with which you can accidentally run into a restricted area while a guard patrol is passing, like that's just out on the sidewalk, and all of a sudden you got people chasing you, and it's a huge pain in the ass. So just a fair warning for anyone who watching this has not played before and decides to play in the future. But yeah, this is exciting. This is like one of those parts that, like, there's something really gratifying when you get to a certain point in the game and you realize, and like you are at a point where it's like, okay, I'm unlocking, you know, the end game bits, you know, I'm hitting the top tier. There's something just really, really satisfying about getting there and being able to do that. And especially in this game, like, this is, I think, what's fun is this armor looks cool in a way that I think is still inside of the style of the armor that we've been playing, but just feels like a nice little upgrade. Just feels fun. Now, don't think about how these seals are being fixed or how they're unlocking anything. I'm sure someone has written some sort of fan fiction or actual fiction about that. But hey, now we get it.
Thank you, Altair, for this great gift. May it shield me from my enemies.
And it looks cool as fuck. All right, we have officially acquired all of the armor in the game. How cool is that? Let's go pick up some cash and get the badass sword that is Altair's sword. Nice. Had a terrifying moment with the kerning, the way ones naturally kern narrower, where I was like, wait, how do I now have less money than I did? Just, you don't. It's just, that's what ones do. Yeah. Sorry, just, there's something really satisfying about that. Okay. And now we are fully kitted. We've got everything we need to do the damn thing. So while we're wrapping things up, I'm going to go ahead and quickly run to some nearby art merchants, just to fill things out and eat up a little bit more time. We're going to hold off on diving into the next round because it is 9:40, and I am very much down to I'm very excited when we get there to I'm very excited next week to dive into finishing up the truth, which is going to be weird, and then talking a little bit more about some of the codex pages that I avoided reading because I have a sense of what's coming in the truth, and then we'll start getting into, if not through, a chunk of the end game, and really kind of starting to see what the game has to offer as we get towards the very, very end, which is weird. Like, I mean, I don't want to oversell how weird this game gets for folks who have not played it before, but we're gonna get into some weird stuff. We're gonna get into some. We're gonna, like, the things it's pointing to are interesting, and I like them a lot. And I think it's part of what makes this earlier phase of the series really, really engaging. Yeah. Okay, so now that we're at the end, the usual stuff. I'm Bruno Falcon. This is Falcon Fictive. If you're not already, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and check out the Patreon. More content coming to the Patreon soon. Those things are in production, and we are making fun stuff there. So we've got, we're making progress on all of those things. So come, we're excited to share them when they're ready, and as soon as they are, we will let you know. But to know right away, follow us on Patreon, and check out the Instagram and YouTube. Also on YouTube, we post VODs of the playthrough every week and then do a recap. I am it's hard to get that recap down super tight, but it is a lot shorter than rewatching the whole VOD, and much more concise. There's way less running around, and I do my best to only keep in the choicest and highest quality of ramblings, so that everyone is mostly getting, like, mostly getting content with a little bit of meandering conversation around whatever I'm inspired by inside of the game. And if you are watching this on the YouTube channel because you haven't ever tuned in, feel free to tune in. Twitch.tv/Falcon Fictive every Thursday at 7:30 for about an hour. No, for about 2.5 hours. You know, we're going to be closer to 2 for today, but like, you know, we are going at a reasonable clip. I'm feeling pretty good about how far along things are in the series, and feeling pretty good about like finishing out potentially finishing out Brotherhood by the spring. Sorry, Ezio by the spring. I think if we can do that, we're on a reasonable clip to not be trapped in the early Assassin's Creed games literally forever. Now that being said, we've got lots and lots and lots of time between now and when the games will, when we'll be pivoting to a new game. But we are looking at pivoting it up and adding in occasional streams of other games. We're thinking about. I'm thinking about doing a Final Fantasy stream. Specifically Final Fantasy VIII, because I've never played it. I'm currently playing Final Fantasy VII and enjoying it a lot. And Final Fantasy VIII, I think, would be a lot of fun. And like, it's a weird game. And I'm interested in seeing what that's like and what comes of it. And then we're also open to suggestions. I think down the road, like, I do really like the idea of playing the Batman games. We'll see what the world looks like by the time we get to those games, but I think playing the Batman games on here would be a lot of fun, specifically like the Arkham games, because they're so good and so weird. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. We're back again next week, same bat time, same bat channel, and stay safe out there. It's crazy. Enjoy the fall weather if you're on the East Coast experiencing this weird pseudo fall. And until next time, bye.